All right, everyone, welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. Dylan and Ty here yet again with actually yet another pretty decent round of movies to talk about. It's been kind of bare bones to start off the year, but we're getting some food in our belly this time around.
Yeah, I've had a busy weekend at the box office. I've seen I think 3 movies since the last episode.
Fuck yeah. I've seen two. And we'll talk about both of them here on this episode. Main part of this episode will be a full Roadhouse review. Ty and I have both seen that one. Then we got a handful of Convince Me to See. So Ty, like you said, you've been busy. You're gonna convince me to see or not Love Lies Bleeding, Immaculate, and Late Night with the Devil.
Hell yeah.
And I will be convincing you to see or not, emphasis on the not, Land of Bad. So that Land of Bad has been out for a bit, but those other 3 just came out, which will be good for the people to hear.
Absolutely.
So Ty, as always, we kick it off with the upcoming movies of the week. Like we said, we are going to be talking about it. Roadhouse. We both saw it already as soon as it came out, day of. We've had this one on our radars for quite a bit. But ex-UFC fighter Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at a Florida Keys roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not all that it seems. Everyone kind of knows about this movie. Obviously, the Patrick Swayze version is, cult classic. You can't really call it that amazing of a movie, but people love it from that era. You get Jake Gyllenhaal in here as Dalton, Conor McGregor as the bad man, and then Billy Magnuson, who's always a douchebag in every movie he's in.
That was something I wrote down too. The guy's just always a dickhead.
Yeah, it easily typecasted as asswipe. You need an asswipe, Billy Magnuson's the dude.
That's the guy.
But we'll talk about that in more detail down the line, so won't harp on it too much here. The other movie that did come out that neither one of us are excited to see, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Ty, I think we talked, both of us, we were never real big Ghostbusters guys.
No, and even the reboot last year, or however many years ago it was now, it just seemed like a cash-in attempt. They were like, let's throw a Stranger Kids thing in, Stranger Things kid in, and let's just try to reboot it here. And now this one just looks lame. It's not getting great reviews, so I'm honestly probably going to skip it.
Yeah, I just don't give a shit about the Ghostbusters. And in this one, the plot is just out there. So when the discoverer of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. I'm like, okay, save the world? That's a little bit much, I think.
Right.
Because the Ghostbusters were just some dudes who started ghostbusting in fucking New York City. They're not saving the goddamn world.
No, fuck no.
And yeah, it just seems a bit ridiculous, but of course I get some buzzword names in here. You get Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard, Kamali Nanjiani. I probably butchered that.
I think you nailed it.
Patton Oswalt, who I have a note here. When was the last time he was in something good? It's just the name, the face, the voice, but it's I think you just bother me with everything you're in currently.
Yeah, I think he's still a solid stand-up comedian, but I don't know what the last solid movie he's been in has been at all.
Yeah, and then you get the old school crew. 3 of the 4, because I think one of them died. But Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson, they're back, and obviously they're trying to bring in the OG fans from the 80s as well as the new fans with Finn Wolfhard and everything. Maybe the thing is, don't put people from Stranger Things in your movies.
I feel like that's all. They'll just grab one of them kids and just throw it in there, just so he'll be like, "Oh, I know that person. I'm gonna go see this movie now."
Yeah. Oh, I can take my kid. Well, actually, at this point, it's probably your grandkid.
Right.
It's not like our age that was super into Ghostbusters. So yeah, you're taking your grandkid. Oh, you know him from the Stranger Things on the Netflix. Because they always have to put the in front of everything they talk about. I don't know why that is.
And I'm going to look into it a little bit here.
Let's do it.
I love Paul Rudd the person, but what's the last really good movie he was in?
Role Models.
That's it. That's
I
gotta
love
be
role
it.
models.
I'm looking right now through IMDb. Everything he's been in lately has been a big old 6.
Yeah.
About a 6. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles doesn't count as a voice role. Quantumania sucked. Bob's Burgers movie, he was just a fucking voice in that too.
Yeah.
Another voice. I'm trying to think of the next, actually, like the best live movie he's been in that he was solid.
I feel like you can't count Avengers movies because no one's seeing the Avenger movies for Ant-Man.
Right, exactly. So even if going past that, then it would be like we're getting into like, jeez, we're really back here now.
We're really back here. I didn't even like Anchorman 2 that much.
No, Anchorman 2 is kind of ass.
Perks of Being a Wallflower I love, but he's basically a background character.
Yeah, like, so maybe not the best actor. Surely he's never been nominated for like an Academy Award. I
don't
think
think
he's
so.
being like a cool vibe guy, which I like him. He's a good guy. But
Yeah,
like,
he's
it's not
fun.
like he's in like he's not ever in like good films. I don't think
He is not. Yeah, let's see if he's been nominated for anything.
he's kind of just like a doofy guy in every movie he's in.
Teen Choice Awards, no one gives a fuck about that. Golden Globes, I guess, counts. He was a nominee for Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Series, Music or Comedy, Living with Yourself.
Wow,
So,
never heard of it.
Never heard of it, exactly. That's a shame, though, because that is a weird thought. Because you see Paul Rudd, you're like, oh, yeah, I like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of always disappointed.
Yeah, I think his most notable achievement is being the sexiest man alive in 2021.
He won that?
Yeah.
You know, that thing's also that thing's also a joke because Jason Kelsey won.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. What are we doing here?
Yeah, no one voted for him.
So that's my hot take. Like Paul Rudd, but is he a great actor?
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, spicy take, a little spicy.
Yeah. I kind of have the same feeling about this next person, and maybe you can tell me down the line. So, Immaculate, Cecilia, a woman of devout faith, is warmly welcomed to the picture-perfect Italian countryside, where she is offered a new role at an illustrious convent. But it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home harbors dark and horrifying secrets. So this is starring Sydney Sweeney, and my note here is they're really trying to get the most out of her before they figure out she can't act.
Yeah, you're not 100% wrong there. She hasn't really been in anything that's been like almost like Paul Rudd. She's known for a lot of stuff, mostly for her big old honkers, I think. But mostly, I don't think she's like a prestige actor. I don't think she's getting nominated for Academy Awards anytime.
No.
But she's solid. I think in this movie, actually, solid too.
Okay.
Given that it's a horror movie, there's not a whole lot there she has to do.
And maybe that's it. Maybe I need to see her in a more serious role because, like, what was it? Anyone But You? Like that. It was like dull, deadpan, straight face. Couldn't even call it acting, monotone. I'm like, okay, this is
kind of what her bread and butter is. I think kind of just like almost like just talking, like straight face, kind of. Even in Euphoria, I think that's kind of probably what her character. I don't watch Euphoria, I wouldn't know, but I think that's kind of like what her character is. Like kind of just.
Yeah, but everyone liked her in Euphoria because she gets naked like every episode.
Right, exactly.
So I'm just kind of saying it how it is, but no, this isn't like a mean thing. It's just kind of truthful.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't realize she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too. Huh.
Yeah. Yep,
I'm looking now to see what she's been in to try to see. I mean, honestly, if that's that's got to be probably her best role because I love that movie so much.
But in Immaculate also is Simona Tabasco.
They were in White Lotus together.
Yeah, that's a fun movie name to say because she was in the first season. The Simona was in the second.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they were in the same season. Were they not?
No. Sydney was in the first season, and Simona was in the season in Sicily, which makes sense why they have her for the Italian thing.
Yep, makes sense. Okay, I was getting confused. Whenever I saw it, I was like, they were in White Lotus together. So they were both in White Lotus, just different seasons.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And yet again, I like to dig into the actors and writers. Writer hasn't done. I'm sorry. I should have saved him for last. Director hasn't done shit. Writer is even worse because the main thing he's known for is writing a PUBG short.
Oh my gosh! What? Is it just like voiced over a PUBG clip?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That is terrible.
I haven't looked it up, but that's what is like on his IMDb page at the top. So it's like this. What he's known for is this, and it says PUBG. Oh, where'd it go? PUBG Ground Zero is what it's called, from 2021. It's like it's live action. Actually, that guy. That's okay. No, it's not. Okay. All right, that was a little bit ignorant of me, thinking this Korean actor was a Chinese actor. Okay, you know what? That's why. That's fair. Okay, I thought it was Wong from Doctor Strange, but it's not. But he is in Marvel. He's in Eternals.
Oh, okay. I know
this guy.
They do look very similar.
They do. So you can't fault me for that. But either way, a stupid ass 9-minute short.
Crazy, wild.
So, but hey, that guy somehow making bigger budget movies now.
I know that Sydney Sweeney also like produced Immaculate, so she had like a kind of a big role in it. So I mean, good for her getting her hand into producing and stuff now too. I mean, I do like Sydney Sweeney, so
yeah.
You said she's not like the best, but she's I'll see what she's in. I'm familiar with her work.
Probably, she seems like a chill, cool person, but not the best actress. Right. Next couple here. This one might be of the lot we talked about, the one I'm most excited to see, and it is Sleeping Dogs. An ex-homicide detective with memory loss is forced to solve a brutal murder, only to uncover chilling secrets from his forgotten past. So this is Russell Crowe and Karen Gillan, who was Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. Also get Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy. It's basically anytime they needed a rough-looking Irish dude, it's him.
I was gonna say he's got to be the Irish guy, right? What's his name, like Chibs or something like that?
Yeah, Chibs. Yeah,
nice.
But same deal here. Writer director sucks ass. His movies are The Transporter Refueled, so not even like the good. Like the first two were pretty good, but this was not. Exodus, Gods and Kings, not great.
No.
The Assassin's Creed movie, also not great.
Ooh.
And then Allegiant, also not great. So his best thing that he's done in my mind is he wrote the screenplay for Accepted, that movie with Jason Long and Jonah Hill.
That movie was really funny back in the day, for sure. Ask me about my wiener.
Exactly. Classic. But yeah, bro, in terms of like action films, not great. Maybe you should stick to comedy. That was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But Sleeping Dogs looks interesting to me. Kind of reminds me a bit of, is it Memento?
Yeah, that's it. Dude
has short-term memory loss or whatever. So maybe it's a little bit like that, but I'm pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, I might have to check this one out. It sounds good enough. I'm not sure if it's playing anywhere near me.
I haven't seen it anywhere, actually. And like part of me got worried. I'm like, am I wrong that it's coming out? But no, it's out. It's just I have no idea where to watch it.
Yeah, only in theaters, March 22nd. There it is. Yeah. So who knows?
All right then. We'll see it eventually, somehow, some way.
I'm sure we'll see it.
It always happens. Then the last film here, the one that you will be talking about in a bit, Late Night with the Devil. So this must have came out short release or limited release last year, but now getting a full release. Live television broadcast in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living room. So this is starring David, Das Malkian?
I think that's it.
All right, cool. Fucking nailed it. We talked about him earlier. He always just plays a weirdo, a creep, a loser, everything Radiohead sang about.
Yeah, literally.
That's this guy. He's also in a shit ton of Christopher Nolan movies, so he's great. He's good. He is very good at acting. He just kind of always had a background minor role, and this is, maybe it's time to shine.
Yeah, he's never been like a leading guy, so that was cool to see. I'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm not going to go too in depth with it, but I'll talk about it a little bit.
Awesome. And then this is written and directed by brother duo, Colin and Cameron Carnes. And they also have not really done anything in the past. So who knows? This might be their breakout movie.
I feel like horror is a good movie, like a good genre to break into. Because if you make a decent horror movie, people are gonna you're gonna have a cult following no matter what.
Yeah, and
so
low
start
budget
from there,
usually.
Start from there, make your money, and then go off.
The biggest example of that is the Saw guy. Can I remember his name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
James Wan.
Yep.
Because they went all in on that movie. Everything he had with his partner, I forget her name, but super low budget, only 1.2 million, and it killed it. And look at it now. We're about to have a Saw fucking 11 this year.
Yep. And
he's part of all the Conjuring World stuff too.
He's got his hand in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that dude has money. I'm actually curious now. How much is he worth? James Wan net worth. You can't really trust these usually, but let's get in the ballpark. I bet that's it. No way. 70 million.
Oh, okay. I was thinking something around that. I was thinking maybe 50 or so, but that's 70.
Yeah,
still not nothing to brag about.
Yeah, I guess I just figured with how many things he's involved with.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be a little higher than that for sure.
More. But all right, that's fine. Good for him. More than I have, so.
I did think it would be a little bit higher than that for sure.
Yeah, that was the last movie here, and actually, I want a note I had on the Late Night with the Devil thing. Like when watching it, it kind of reminded me of the ending scene of the Joker. Where
it kind of is a vibe on the show. Yeah,
and it's just like, oh fuck, something bad's gonna happen.
They nail that throughout the whole movie. That's kind of awesome. The vibe throughout the whole movie. So it's really cool, and it will be on Shudder next month. So not going to be out in the theater for too long. It'll be, I think, streaming within a month.
I will give it a watch then.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I'll leave it at that. I got a little bit to talk about, but not a ton.
Let's go ahead, hop into the news here. This first bullet point makes me extremely happy.
Yeah, so forget everything we said about movies coming out way past their original and all that, because apparently we're going to get Happy Gilmore 2. Nothing is confirmed by Sandler yet, but it's being developed by Sandler and a script exists. The Shooter McGavin actor Christopher McDonald he revealed that during a news radio interview. So he said he recently had a run-in with Sandler, and he unexpectedly pulled out a first draft of the sequel to the original movie. He says, I saw Adam Sandler about 2 weeks ago, and he says to me, "McDonald, you're gonna love this." And McDonald said, "What?" And he says, "How about that?" And he showed him the first draft of Happy Gilmore 2. And then he told them maybe they should cut that out of the audio because he doesn't want to be a liar, but he was shown that, and he said it would be awesome. The fans want it. So apparently we're getting Happy Gilmore 2. And apparently if it does come out, it will be through Netflix because Adam Sandler and Happy Madison have their Netflix production deal. 28 years after the original. Wow. Like I said, still hasn't been official word from Sandler or Happy Madison or anything like that yet. But if that's the case, I'm excited. I know we talk shit all the time about movies coming out way too long past their time, but give me any Happy Gilmore or anything, I'm down. One of my favorites of all time. So I'm wondering, like, I've seen rumors like, oh, it'd be a senior tour. Happy would be like on the senior tour now, or it'd be him coaching his daughter, something like that. Either way they do it, I trust him. That's one of his most beloved characters. I think he'll do it justice. I
like to think he goes back to still trying to be a hockey player.
Yeah.
And he's just still not getting it.
That's hilarious. No, I do hope that comes out. So we'll see. Maybe within the next couple weeks we'll get more updates on that. We will keep you guys posted for sure because I'm excited.
Fuck yeah.
We got some Joker 2 musical details here. So we did find out that the movie is going to be kind of a musical, kind of not, but apparently it leans heavily towards being a jukebox musical.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to integrate 15 or more reinterpretations of very well-known songs. And there's apparently a door open for an original song or two to be added sung by who knows, either probably Lady Gaga or him. But jukebox musicals, for those that don't know, are they're just popular songs. Movies like Mamma Mia and Moulin Rouge, they both are jukebox musicals. So
Rock of Ages.
Not really original songs, just sung by the cast. And a lot of them do receive Oscar nominations that Moulin Rouge has, and they often achieve box office success. So be on the lookout for that, I guess. Apparently, the composer of the first film, I have no idea how to say her last name, Hildur. It's seriously in some kind of Icelandic writing. Guan, leave it at Hildur. She's going to infuse her distinctive and haunting musical cues into each number. So we'll probably get some wacky remixes of songs we've probably heard before, but at least that gives me some hope. I'm okay with it being a musical, but now that I know it's a jukebox musical, I'm a little bit more excited than them just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Honestly, I was worried when they first announced, it'll be a musical, whatever, 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is better. And, I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, why? Why does it need to be this way? And I saw some pretty good comments that helped me out. And it's like, towards the end of the original Joker, he's just losing grip with reality.
That's
and
true,
he's just absolutely nuts. So that makes sense. He's living in his own world, in his own head. It doesn't mean things that, like if they just bust out into song, that doesn't mean it's actually happening, right? Because just like at the end of Joker, it was all in his head that he started like half dating that his neighbor.
Yeah, yep.
So it's very similar thing there. Still excited to see it just because of how unsettling the first one was.
Yeah, for sure. The first one, nominated for Oscars, and good old Joaquin won one for it. So we'll see. We'll see how this one is. I still have high hopes. Still going to be a whiles away. I can't remember if it's coming out this year or not. Maybe next year. But that leads me to my biggest piece of news for the week, because it's very relevant, because I'm seeing it on Tuesday. We are in the depths of the Pooniverse, Dylan. Not even the Pooverse, the Pooniverse.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing with that one.
So the filmmakers behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, my notoriously worst movie I've ever seen in my whole life, have unveiled their Pooniverse Monsters Assemble strategy, I guess. They're going to bring together Pooh and various other beloved children's characters gone bad. So the production company Jagged Edge and ITN Studios, they're going to be teaming up for these murderous versions of figures, including Bambi, Tinkerbell, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, Tigger, Piglet, the Mad Hatter, and Sleeping Beauty. And I did throw a nice little picture on here of their artwork.
Yeah, and so I was looking there trying to figure out who was who. Mad Hatter, I do see. Yeah, and then obviously Pooh, Tigger, and Piglet.
I think that's Tinkerbell is holding a syringe on the left-hand side.
Awesome. And it looks like it says Wendy on the grave that she's coming up, so that must be the Peter Pan part of it.
Yeah.
The clown, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that clown guy is.
It kind of looks like... Is that Peter Pan since he's got a feather in his hat?
He does have a feather in his hat. He's just super... Why does he look like a clown?
I have no idea. I was thinking it looks like Art the Clown.
That's a weird one. And then the other part, you have Pooh riding the deer, and you said they were including Bambi. Bambi was a female, so she's not going to have antlers like that. So that's not Bambi. So I don't know. But
that's so funny. This is so
obviously
ridiculous.
not going for accuracy here. And then the wood guy with the long nose. I don't know what that is either.
No idea what that is at all. But many of the characters set to appear in the Pooniverse will feature standalone films coming later this year, falling under the Twisted Childhood Universe banner, they're calling it. Twisted and Sick. Bambi the Reckoning. I think we might have talked about some of these. Bambi the Reckoning, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, Pinocchio Unstrung, and then the upcoming Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 are kicking that off, apparently. And apparently each film is going to include various Easter eggs linking them toward the huge crossover. So I'm on record for hating all of this shit. I think it's terrible and corny and trying to cash in on some shock value. But that being said, I'm so fully invested. I have to see all of these.
So you have to stay after the credits too.
That's what I'm saying. There's surely a post-credit scene.
God damn it.
I'm going to look right now just because I'm super curious as to how many tickets are sold for my Tuesday showing at the waterfront. Not too many places showing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2.
They're smart for that.
It's a 3-night only event, I guess. So let's see.
They had a after credit scene in the first one where they showed Tigger, right?
I don't know. I walked out. I did not stick around.
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm gonna look that up while you.
I think it was teased. I think there was something teased for sure. Let's try to find it. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. It's here. Where the hell is it? It's on the very last. It's the very last. Where the hell is it? No, I can't even find it. Did I buy tickets for nothing? What is this for?
They canceled the movie.
I honestly think they might have. I can't even find it now.
It does say after the credits finish, there's a text scene reading Winnie the Pooh will return. So they're going for the Marvel shit.
Jeez. I cannot find it on their website.
It's gone.
This is really funny.
Or maybe it's sold out. It's canceled or sold out. It's one of the two.
Okay, here we go. AMC. Dude, where did I fucking buy tickets for this at? AMC Waterfront 22. It's not even showing on their freaking. It's not even showing on their page.
They gave
what
up.
The hell? I'm shocked right now. I don't know, but anyway, I'm wondering how many people are going to be there. Let alone stick around for the trailer for the post credits. But that's what we got going on this week in movie news. Not a ton. Apparently, there's rumors of Aaron Taylor Johnson being cast as the new James Bond, but nothing substantial yet. It's coming to that, so we'll see if anything like that comes out to be true or not.
Alrighty. So we're hitting the convince me to see or not section here. We got 4 movies. Ty, you got 3 of them. I got 1. So how do you want to do this? You wanna go first? You want me to go first?
I'll kick off a couple because I'm just going to keep it short and sweet for Immaculate and Late Night with the Devil. Immaculate was a lot different than I thought it was going to be. It was not your just average run-of-the-mill horror movie where there's someone getting possessed and anything like that. It takes a different, more unique approach, and I was surprised. I think it's only like an hour and 20 minutes or so, hour 20 something. I thought it was worth a watch. I was happy with it. It still landed in that about 6 range or so. And then Late Night with the Devil, I thought was really cool. They really nailed that late night talk show aesthetic. I love the way they set it up in that way. It was nice to see Dalmatian, however the hell you say his last name, in a lead role for a change. Pretty good. Yeah. It was definitely spooky throughout, and it went pretty quick for an hour and 33 minutes. I think it was a little bit longer than Immaculate, but apparently people are upset they used AI briefly for like 3 little scenes, like almost like a cue card type thing, just like an we'll be right back type thing on the screen. Apparently they used AI for something like that, and people are just like so upset, like butthurt about it online, and that's just so fucking lame. So like I get it, they're like, oh, they're taking away Jaws, but it did not take away anything from the movie at all or the acting, so give me a break on that. I saw a TikTok where somebody absolutely loved the movie, but then they went on to shit on it for using AI. It's like, give me a fucking break, dude.
Yeah, this is what's going to be happening. Shut up.
The movie was definitely good, though. Worthy of a watch. Like I said, Shudder on next month. I went with an 8 on this one. I think this would have been really good if it came out like closer to Halloween, because it is Halloween in the movie. So I think around then it'll definitely pop off again. But definitely one of the better horror movies lately. Both these are good, but I think Late Night with the Devil is definitely more enjoyable.
Okay.
Super cool movie.
For Late Night with the Devil, does it stick with like the grainy type old TV feel, or does it actually go to like normal 4K resolution?
They do. They'll do a little bit of jumping back and forth. So once the movie actually starts, you're seeing it. It has like a bit of like a filter on it, but then it. So you're seeing like the telebroadcast as they see it back in the day. But then it'll switch to them like what happened in between all of that, and it'll switch to like black and white, them and like talking in between like takes and all that stuff whenever shit's going down. So it's definitely cool. They did it pretty well.
Very cool. And then wow, yeah, I didn't see that is one thing I do like with horror movies is I find that the shorter they keep them, it's so much easier to have a good horror movie because it's not super dragged out. You're not doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely more unique than a lot of movies, I think, horror-wise lately. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of like in Nope, whenever they flash back to like the TV show or whatever, whenever all that shit happened on that. It was kind of like that, except its whole movie is kind of like that. So
awesome. And did you want to talk at all about Love Lies Bleeding?
Yeah, I'll go into that one a good bit because I really like this one too.
Awesome.
So this one was on my radar since like the first trailer I saw, just like almost every other A24 produced movie is these days. But this one, like I said, we talked about it before in Rundown, but gym manager Lou, she falls for Jackie, who's a bodybuilder passing through town on her way to a bodybuilding competition in Vegas. This one's got Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien, who actually used to be / is a bodybuilder. It's got Ed Harris and Dave Franco in it. And cameo by UFC fighter Keith Jardine, who's kind of been in a bunch of stuff now. He's got a win over Chuck Liddell, so he was kind of okay at MMA, but he's been in he's kind of just been like a tough guy in a lot of movies these days, it seems like. So good for Keith Jardine, the Dean of Mean Keith Jardine. This one was directed by Rose Glass, who's also done the movie Saint Maud, which I saw. I didn't love it. I thought it was trying to be like kind of, I don't know, kind of artsy or shit. It was like a horror movie, but like I thought it was kind of annoying. This one, though, currently has 7.3 on IMDb, 93% certified fresh critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty high, and an 82% audience score. So I went and saw the movie, and I did the research, and I think I pinpointed the exact moment when that guy probably started cranking his hog and got arrested. There is definitely a lot of like lesbian action in this movie, and I was alone at the movie. There was some people there, but it felt weird being at this movie by myself.
Yeah.
It was definitely a really good movie. It was intense. It was intense, and it was unique, and it was definitely like a wild ride kind of movie. And I feel like it's definitely rewatchable too, compared to like a lot of movies these days. Like I could see myself watching this one, just throwing it on, just kind of like almost like last year, how I just would throw on Evil Dead Rise. I would see myself throwing this one on.
Okay.
In my opinion, this was probably Kristen Stewart's best role, even though she's kind of just being herself. But Katie O'Brien really steals the show. She was absolutely shredded for this role. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in Ant-Man Quantumania. I think she was one of like those like village people, whatever. But I'm sure she's going to be getting a lot more attention now after this one. The entire cast was actually really good. It's great acting all around. Dave Franco, really good at playing a scumbag, just like his brother James kind of is. Movie's definitely violent too, with a lot of scenes where I was kind of just like, holy shit, I couldn't believe like they just did that. Definitely intense too. You're on your seat, edge of your seat for about an hour and 44 minutes. It does go quick though, and there's definitely some funny moments too. I didn't know if they were supposed to be funny, but I laughed a lot of it. Mostly just at this crackhead girl who just likes going to Wendy's or whatever the hell it's called. Really funny.
Sounds right. Accurate.
Yeah. But it ended up being my number 2 movie on the year so far, behind Dune 2. Definitely worth a watch in my opinion. I gave it a 9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
Awesome. Yeah, that has to be. We'll go through order of our top movies at the end of this episode, but that has to, no doubt, put it right at number 2. It has to. There hasn't been anything else that high other than Dune. So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. Definitely worth a watch. A24 has done it yet again. Okay. I don't know when it's gonna. I think A24 and Max have like a streaming agreement now, so
they do.
It might end up on Max within a couple months. I'd have to imagine, but check it out anytime you really can. I think it's really good movie.
Yeah, I'm curious. How soon, like after theaters, they'll start pumping them onto Max, because Max has the A24 section.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious if it'll be like kind of how. Oh, who is it? Like Paramount might put out a movie and then throw it on Paramount Plus like a month later, or Disney Plus does that shit too.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, why wait? I don't really get that, because it's not going to be in theaters forever. I would say as soon as it's done in theaters, there's no reason just to immediately make it streamable.
Yeah, definitely.
So cool. So I will get to my movie here for the conviction to see or not. It is going to be a not. For Land of Bad here. I believe this movie came out pretty early in this year. We slightly talked about it, but it just seemed like a generic action film, and that's exactly what it was. So yeah, it came out February 16th, so a little over a month ago. You get both Hemsworth brothers, but not Chris. So it's like, okay, who really cares? But in this film, it is straight up take all the tropes from a generic action movie where all right, we got this squad of like 4 or 5 dudes. The captain, he's straight edge, man. He's totally straight edge. does everything by the book. He's serious. And then, we're going to have this one dude. He's going to be just massive badass. And he's gonna fuck with the new guy all the time. That's just his thing, that he's hardcore like that. And then, we got to have the older dude. The older dude, he's seen it all, man. He's seen all the shit. So he's just kind of rough around the edges. And that's exactly the shit they do in this movie. What's super odd to me is Liam and Luke look pretty damn similar.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
And because of that, I'm like, okay, make them related in the movie. They don't. They do not make them related in the movie. So it's just like, oh yeah, just fucking met you. Crazy how we look alike, huh? They obviously don't reference it at all, but you do that and you're like, okay, that's kind of stupid. But so essentially the story is like there's four guys, four. Yeah, there's four dudes on the ground and they're like going to rescue another military dude that got captured, I guess. Mm-hmm. And right off the bat, I'm like, why are you only sending four dudes to do this? That seems like not enough. But Liam Hemsworth's whole thing is like he's a comms guy, the drone, the guy that communicates with the drone pilots and everything. And Russell Crowe's character is the drone pilot. So that's the whole thing. Is like, oh, eyes in the sky. I'm Russell Crowe. I'm here to support you. But my problem with that is, the whole point of like the UAV or the drone being up there is to see what's ahead of you, to see what's around you, to shoot things if you have the ammunition. Bro, they fucking suck at their job. like they get surprised so many fucking times by trucks and a shit ton of people that it's like, how did the drone not see that and warn them? But it's really not a great movie. I also wrote that they use way too much slow-mo during the action scenes. It's like they really made it a point to do slow motion for like a casing, a shell casing is popping out of a gun every time. Every time there's an explosion, we gotta go slow mo. That was incredibly annoying. Also, like the movie felt like it should have started maybe 45-50 minutes in rather than where it did. It would have been a lot cooler if it started it later, mostly because the first 45 minutes, one, not a ton happens other than trying to establish who these characters are, which, like I said, there are incredibly generic characters, and you don't care about them. And then, spoiler alert here, it's not that huge of a spoiler because it happens in the first, 20-30 minutes. They all fucking die, except Liam.
Oh, shit.
They all die. And Liam's the only one that survives. And this is when you realize just how shitty the acting is. Because Liam is holding his brother, his real-life brother. And in the movie, he's dying. He's shot. He is dying literally in his arms. And no facial expression, no emotion at all, not even anger, fear, nothing. Just, he's hit, he's down, I need a medic. It's really bad. And you would think if you are acting with your real brother and you got to get in that mindset, my fucking brother is just dying in front of me.
Yeah. But
no, none of that. It's not great. The rest of the movie, it's basically one man on the run from a billion soldiers, and Russell Crowe eyeing the sky. And I don't understand why there's a billion people after him. It's one dude. It feels like, maybe just let him go. But no, they don't. So that's most of the movie. It's not great. I gave it a 4. It feels like I could have went lower. But it's not the worst action film I've seen, but it is definitely quite below par.
Okay, so that sounds like I'm gonna give it a good old skip.
Yeah. Figure to save you that time.
Yeah, not every movie can be we gotta get some fours up in there. So at least we saw that. At least it's out of the way.
Yeah. Hopefully it saves people from seeing it. Like, watch any other generic movie. Black Hawk Down. Watch
I was
that.
gonna say, it sounds like
Same
kind of
thing.
like worst version of Extraction almost.
Oh, yeah. Which is also
With
yeah, no, 100%. Watch that one. Because it's one dude on the run from a lot of other enemies. Except it's not in slow-mo every 10 seconds.
Watch Extraction 2. There you go. Skip this one. Just see the good one.
But that'll end our Convince Me to See section, and we'll go into a full review here of Roadhouse. And Ty, I think we'll tell the people, if you don't want spoilers, just probably head out.
Right.
There's not a ton to spoilers. Come on, the good guy's gonna win. It always goes that way. So let's just hop right into it. I will say, I want to start with saying this is not a good movie.
Right.
But it's really enjoyable.
It's a fun movie. I wouldn't go on a limb and say it's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch.
Exactly. And like from the opening scene, you see Post Malone when he's still like kind of chubby. And he's just whooping on a dude. I'm like, all right, sick, let's go.
Yep. His songs are playing in the background, and he's beating somebody's ass, and you're just like, hell yeah, let's go.
That's and then Jake Gyllenhaal just gets fucking stabbed. Right at the beginning.
Just walks in. It just eats the stab. By the way, just completely just took the stab and was like, "You sure you want to do that?" And then the guy just runs away. I've never seen anybody take a stabbing like that.
So you want your knife back? So obviously Jake Gyllenhaal's character is a badass. That's kind of a given.
Yeah.
I don't like the comparisons to the original.
Right.
Like obviously they're using the name. They're calling it a reimagining of the original. I think of them as completely separate. You can't compare them. And I looked at my rating for the original. I had my rating for the original lower than I did for this one, and that shocked me.
Well, there you go. I never actually saw the original.
It's okay. It's not.
I know it has like a crazy cult following. It's like brought up. It's just kind of like a campy action like fighting movie.
Yeah, it's way more gritty. Like it takes itself seriously.
This one doesn't take itself seriously.
Exactly. And if it did, I would have gave it a much lower rating.
Right. This one knows what it's doing for sure.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Don't try to bullshit us.
Right. Exactly.
But I hate all the people like on TikTok and everything comparing it to the original. I'm like, don't do that. Like that's not what it is. And they're also acting like the original was some amazing movie. It also was not.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
It's not that great. I mean, Patrick Swayze rips a dude's throat out and throws him into a lake. Like that's pretty wild. Just bare hand ripped a dude's throat out. I was like, what the fuck?
R.I.P. to Swayze. R.I.P.
R.I.P. That's right. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I had fun with it. It was silly.
So did I, yeah. There's a lot of funny scenes too. It's hilarious. You know who steals the show? Conor McGregor.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah.
Not even in a great acting way, just because he is so over the top and goofy that it is so fucking funny. Everything he does is hilarious in this movie.
I love he just always walks like he's carrying barrels under his arms.
He's just always trying to be like as douchey as possible, I feel like.
Yeah. His opening scene, the first scene, he's just butt-ass naked.
Butt-ass naked. You almost see his dick. I was like, I can't believe we just almost saw his penis in a straight-to-streaming movie.
Yeah, it is went for it.
This is absolutely hilarious. Everything he did was so funny. Like whenever he's getting drugged around by the anchor, you texted me as soon as you saw it.
Oh my god!
Being drugged by an anchor in a boat, and he just gets yeeted, and he's like, "Rah!"
It just sounds like fucking Wario.
It was so funny.
Mario Kart. Wah! I loved it. I cracked up. He's silly. Like you got the meme going on now that's being used. They green screened him where he's walking in. Let's see what this is all about. Where the fuck is everyone?
He had a lot of just really like unintentionally funny lines too. He walks up, sees the plate of sandwiches, he's like, "Oh, I fucking love sandwiches," or whatever.
Yeah, he just starts eating it. Like, first, we're gonna need more sandwiches.
Yeah.
But yeah, it knew what it was. It was fun with it. I will say it probably a little long. There's like some shit you can cut.
Definitely was a little bit long, and it hits a couple lulls in between all the fighting. I feel like they should have just kept the fighting down.
They should have. And like the randomness of the Doctor. So the Doctor is a big part of the original.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have a name in the original. It's just Doctor. Which is kind of funny. So I feel like that's why they included her. But she plays zero purpose in this movie other than getting captured.
Right, yeah. I mean, the actress that plays her, Daniela
Melchior?
Yeah, that's it. Something like that. I think she's Portuguese, so I can't say that right. But she's been in a lot of stuff lately. She's been in she was in Fast 10. She was Ratcatcher 2 in the Suicide Squad. I like her. She's a good actress. I mean, she's a good looking lady, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Well, that's the thing. I think she's talented, and they didn't use it in this movie. They just made her play like the the damsel in distress.
Pretty much, yeah. Not even a full on love interest. She was kind of there. They hung out a couple times, and like it was funny whenever Gyllenhaal would take people that he beat the shit off to the hospital. Like, oh, there's a hospital about 25 minutes down the road, and she was just kind of there, and not even like they've had a full on relationship. They hung out a couple times, and then even at the end, it's not like he stuck around and hung out there. She was like, "You gotta go." He's like, "All right." So
yeah, like she took her on the boat. And then they stop, and she's like, "You knew this was a date." I'm like, "You guys met once.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?" So that was kind of stupid. Even the owner of the Roadhouse, she was pretty fucking useless.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. She would just walk in and be like, "What the hell is going on in my Roadhouse?"
Yeah, that's how she sounded too.
It was.
But then they did the one dude, the quote unquote bad guy, but he was like the good guy on the bad guys team, the one that broke his arm.
Oh yeah,
and, he was just funny, but he felt exactly like what they did with the one character from Ant-Man.
Oh yeah,
you know
I
mean?
Yeah.
He's just always in a good mood, happy-go-lucky, silly. That was him. Didn't try to hide it. It was just okay. Be that guy.
My two favorite scenes in the movie: the first fight between Connor and Gyllenhaal, whenever the band is just playing the whole time, no matter what happens. Like, basically, there's nobody in the bar anymore, and they're just playing. That song was cool. It was a cool fucking band, cool song. Second best scene, maybe the whole best scene, the water fight scene. The entire fight scene in the water is so funny. Like Gyllenhaal shows up, he blows their boat up, and he's like still flashbanged. His ears are soaring. He's just one-shotting people, just knocking them out, one-shotting a couple of dudes, and then McGregor rolls up with a boat, runs a guy over. He's trying to run Gyllenhaal down. It was so great. It was so over the top. Oh my god!
Well, even when they're on the getaway boat, they slam it into the beach.
Yeah,
and Billy Magnuson's character goes fucking flying,
completely just way gone.
And he survived. I was like, what? I was
expecting
on like
a roof,
like splattered.
Yeah, and then he gets like. I mean, I expect him to die. So Connor walks up and snaps his neck, pretty much.
Yeah, which and that goes back to it not being a good movie.
Yeah,
because why would he do that? He's working for that dude's dad. I feel like you wouldn't do that. And then the CGI was also horrible.
Yeah, it was like the first thing I noticed within the first couple scenes of the movie. Like, I don't know if it was punches or something like that. I wrote it down. It's like some punches. Something looked off at the very beginning, and then whenever he's getting run down by the truck and it's dangling off the bridge, that looked like shit.
That's what did it for me. The way the truck just like shifts over to the other lane made no sense.
Right, and I knew this wasn't going to be great because as soon as I saw the one biker bad guy fall into the water, I was like, he's probably going to get eaten by a shark or something. Crocodile immediately.
Yeah, that was fucking silly too, but enjoyable. That's all we needed this movie to be.
All of our are just like it didn't take away from the movie. The bad CGI almost made it just as good. Like nothing took away from it. There's a little bit of a lull and it's a little bit long, but it's definitely still worthy of a watch. It's just a guys rock, dudes beating the shit out of each other movie. Exactly,
and it's 100% like so bad it's good type film.
Yeah, definitely.
That it was still good because of that. And back to your point about the band just always rocking on, even though shit's going down. That's also what would happen in the original. Was they had a cage, like it was a legitimate cage in the first one that the band played behind. And in this one, it's kind of just like a fishing net, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, just people getting the absolute piss beat out of them. They're like, "You don't stop playing," and they keep it going.
There was really there'd be like you could still hear them from outside. They'd be outside, people getting taken away in cop cars and ambulances, and you'd still hear the band playing in the background.
Hell yeah. They're doing their job.
I need to find out what that song was called because it was cool. It was vibing.
I'm curious if it was an original song because I said I don't want to compare it to the original, but in the original movie, the band that's playing, that guy it was all his music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm curious if they did something similar.
Maybe they did. They might have. What'd you end up giving this movie?
I ended up at a 6.
So did I. 6.3 to be exact, just to differentiate between a couple other movies on my list. I ended up with a 6.3, so we're about the same there.
That was... No, it wasn't. I actually, when I was rating it, I'm like, is that my highest rated movie this year? It's not. Society of the Snow is one spot higher.
Roadhouse ends up being my 6th.
6?
Highest of the year.
And that's probably a good segue into our top 5 so far. 4 of the 5 I need to still see. So that's number 1, of course, it is Dune 2 with a 10. Love Lies Bleeding in 2nd with a 9. Late Night with the Devil in 3rd with an 8. Society of the Snow, it's the only one that I saw that you didn't, at number 4 with a 7. And then Immaculate, currently sitting in 5th at a 6.4.
Yeah, so that's about the top 5 for me so far. Just shy of that list is, like I said, Roadhouse and Beekeeper. They're all right about a 6 right there. Also a 6, Mean Girls. Everything after that kind of falls off a bit. Ricky Stenicki, I think we both gave it about a 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, I saw ISS. I forgot all about that movie. That was a 5. Self-Reliance, the one I watched on Hulu, it was also a 5. It's okay. And then after that, we fall off a cliff. Argyle 3, Damsel 2, Madam Web 1.5, Drugstore June 1. Did not finish the movie. Terrible fucking. So we got some good movies here so far, and we also have some shit. But Tuesday, we're gonna see if Winnie the Pooh 2 is better than the first or not.
Can it repeat?
And I'm starting to think now my showing is sold out because I'm not seeing I'm not seeing it anywhere on AMC's website where I have tickets for it. And anytime I have been able to click on it, it's an error. So I think it's sold out and they took down the listing.
Wow.
But I did check other places. There's one that's got I think 5 seats open. And there's one in Monroeville that still has a couple seats open. So people are going. So they're going to make their money back. It does have a better budget than the first, so we're going to see if it ends up being better or not. Gosh. We might have to drop our pod early. I mean, you got a busy weekend coming. You're getting fucking married.
I do. Friday, 3:15 Central Time, I will be getting married.
Married man. Look at that, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to be tied down. You're going to be seeing less of me on the show, so Tyler, you'll start taking over more and more. That's not true. Nothing's going to change. We've been together it will be 11 years on Friday.
There it is.
When we get married. So if nothing has changed yet, it probably won't. So, but who knows? People say the rings change things. And I don't really wear jewelry. So I'm going to be a ring guy now, I guess.
There you go.
I don't even have a choice.
A lot of guys become ring guys once they get married, turns out.
That's true.
We'll have to drop an emergency pod on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Get it done early in the week after I see that. Get it done before the big weekend.
I think we can do that. Technically, we have people coming down Thursday, but I could still go Thursday. We can pop something out.
Yeah, we'll pop out a pod early as early as we can. We'll get it done before the people, before you get hitched.
Yeah. Got to do that. Was that old eloping thing we got going down?
There you go.
see if there's anything I can watch before then. I'm sure I'll find something. That Prey
Yeah.
movie, I almost watched Prey. So we talked about that last week.
Oh,
I didn't because it looks like garbage.
I think I might start Three Body Problem today. That sounds like a good show to start watching. Apparently, it's really good.
Yeah, so really like the book, but it is very different.
Oh, you watched it already?
I've watched some of it. I've watched like the first 1.5 episodes.
How many are there? Are there 6, 8, 10?
8? I believe there's 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always random. I wish they would just keep it at like 10.
Yeah, I don't know how to decide.
Most things are like 6, 8, 10. I don't know. I don't know how they decide to go about that either.
So the way I've heard, and again, I haven't finished the book yet, so I can't speak completely on it. But what I have heard and read and everything is, if you want something that's like exactly the same as the book, watch the actual Chinese version, which is also out on Hulu.
Okay.
If you want like something that is its own thing, it's a little less of a slow burn and things actually happen, watch the Netflix version.
Okay.
Because the book, I think I brought it up last week, it's super slow burn. It keeps you engaged, but like the whole thing is supposed to be about aliens. I'm halfway through, maybe a little over at this point. There's still no damn aliens.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'll probably fire that up after we're done here.
Yeah, give it a go. But that is probably where we end it here for today.
That'll do it.
And we'll see you in a few days, I guess.
Let's do it.